Hi, this is Jennifer Jaff, Executive Director of Advocacy for Patients with Chronic Illness, and you're watching Know Your Rights. So what do you get in a 504 plan? Well, the law doesn't really say anything specific about that. What the law says is that you're entitled to reasonable accommodations. And what's reasonable depends on the circumstances, depends on the school, depends on the child, depends on what the needs are, and it's done on a case-by-case basis, and it's a process of negotiation. In fact, a negotiation is actually required by the law. There has to be an interactive process by which the parents and the student and the school all decide what the accommodations are going to be. You can get pretty much anything as an accommodation, although things that cost money, like tutoring, are the places where schools are going to push back, obviously. But there are lots of simple things. For example, one of the things that we've come up with that we put in almost all 504 plans is something we call stop the clock testing. So if a student is in the middle of an exam and he needs to get up to use a bathroom because he has a digestive disease, the clock stops running on his time to take the exam when he leaves the room, and then when he comes back in, the clock starts running again. So really he has the same amount of time to take the exam as any other kid. And the same thing would apply for kids with other kinds of disabilities. For example, there are kids who need to lie down once in a while, kids who develop headaches, kids who, even become faint or they have to eat a snack, and anything like that, you can use stop the clock testing. But beyond that, it's really just about anything that you and the school are able to negotiate. There are a couple of things that we strongly recommend. One is that you identify the plan coordinator so that you as the parent and your child as the student have one person at the school to go to if your child gets sick. So you've got a Section 504 plan in place, and your child gets sick and ends up in the hospital. You should only have to call one person. You shouldn't have to call every single one of your child's teachers to get the homework assignments and to do whatever else is required under the plan. So we strongly urge you to ask the school to identify the one person who will kind of serve as the liaison between the family and the school, so that if there's an emergency, that's who you contact. If there's a problem with the plan, if there's a problem with one of the teachers, that's who you contact. If the plan needs to be reconsidered, if for any reason there needs to be a revision of the plan, that's who you go to say we need another 504 meeting. The way to get yourself a plan is just that, request a Section 504 meeting. You are pretty much entitled to a meeting upon request. The school may ask for some medical documentation to show that your son or daughter is substantially impaired in a major life activity. They may need a letter from a doctor, they may need some medical records. They are not entitled to your child's entire medical chart. They are not entitled to unrestricted access to your child's physicians. Your doctors will hate you if you allow the school to contact them for every little thing. But you can set up, for example, a conference call with the doctor and the school. I suggest that you be on the line when that happens so that you know exactly what the doctor is saying to the school, and if the school misinterprets it, you're able to say, no, that's not really exactly what the doctor said. But once the school has that basic information about your child's disability, there really doesn't need to be contact between the school and the doctor unless something new arises. The The most difficult accommodations to get are the accommodations that cost money, and primarily we're talking about tutoring. Every school district that I've had anything to do with has a written policy in the student handbook that says that a student has to be absent for 10 consecutive school days before they get tutoring. That's for healthy students. You can negotiate for tutoring after fewer than 10 days. But again, it's a negotiation. We usually start at 5 days and agree to 7 days. But that doesn't mean that nothing happens during that first 5 or 7 days, because we would have other provisions of the plan that would talk about who's going to take notes for the student, how's the student going to get homework assignments, how many assignments is the student going to actually have to hand in, will the teacher be able to waive assignments. There should be a provision in the plan that says that using the plan can never be used as a penalty, so that the student can't be given a worse grade because homework assignments were waived. What we like to put in our plans is that it's about quality, not quantity. So it's about whether the student has achieved a mastery of the subject matter, whether the student can pass the final exam and therefore pass the course without maybe doing every single homework assignment. But when a child is home sick, it doesn't mean that the child can't maybe read for a couple of hours a day or do a little bit of homework. And so even before tutoring kicks in, you should be able to get some help from the school to keep the student caught up. Once you get to tutoring, though, it's very restrictive. Most school districts don't provide more than 1 hour of tutoring a day. That's very minimal, and it's pretty much universal, and we haven't figured a way around it. So unfortunately, it often falls on the parent to supplement the tutoring by making sure to get those homework assignments, making sure to get notes from another kid in the class, making sure to get all of the assignments, handouts, visual aids. Sometimes we get the syllabus from the teacher. Whatever information we can get, you're entitled to that. And you can get, you can ask for anything that is available, and it should be provided. But tutoring is definitely where things tend to fall short. And that's definitely a problem for kids with chronic illnesses. But it's amazing how resilient kids are. I promise you that you're going to worry about this more than your child is. Hi, this is Jennifer Jaff, and you're watching Know Your Rights. And this is our Know Your Rights handbook. If you want to learn your rights to be your own advocate, you can get a copy of this book. This will teach you all about health and disability insurance, Social Security disability, employment discrimination, family and medical leave, educational equity, housing for people with disabilities, and lots of other interesting issues. We've got sample insurance appeals and sample Social Security applications, and lots and lots of information so that you will have all the tools you need to be your own best advocate. Thank you for watching Know Your Rights. This has been Jennifer Jaff. If you have any questions or problems, feel free to give me a call, 860-674-1370, or you can email me at patient_advocate@sbcglobal.net, or you can visit our website, which has lots of helpful information on it, and that is www.advocacyforpatients.org. Thanks very much. Bye.